Hi, welcome to the Build with Firebase YouTube channel. This is a new channel where we'll be releasing videos that shows you different features that you can use to power your applications on the Firebase development platform. Firebase is Google's web and mobile app development platform that helps you to power the different features of your application, like hosting your code, providing authentication, database, and so on. I am Abubakar, a Google Developer Expert for Cloud. In this video, I'll be showing you how I created a personal productivity app powered by Gemini API. I've always been someone who procrastinates, yeah, don't we all? And I've tried different productivity apps. So when Firebase Studio was launched, I was like, okay, let me try to come up with something that will help me with my productivity. And also, instead of using different apps to manage different things, can I create an app that is like my own personal assistant that not just helps me to create applications, but create tasks and manage them like a to-do list, but also helps like a productivity coach telling me, okay, I'm procrastinating or I need to improve in this part or that part, which is where Google Gemini comes in. Now, I used the Firebase Studio, which is the new AI powered workspace platform that Google introduced, allowing you to prototype your application from a prompt and build your application from there. Now, one of the some requirements for this project for me is I would use a language I am not familiar with. I am not a full-fledged web developer. My interest is mostly in cloud, DevOps, and so on. But yes, I can code. I've never written anything in Next.js before. My JavaScript is very rudimentary. So I decided, let me use things that I'm not familiar with. Next.js, TypeScript to build this application. Since I have the Firebase Studio to help me out, so it's easy to make that choice. Now, how did I get started? The Firebase Studio, once you go to Firebase Studio, you can click on Get Started and log into your Google account. I'm already logged in here. Now, on the left side, and I also have a premium account with my Google Developer Pro account. You can check the Google developer.google.com. I'll add the link to the description where you can either subscribe to the Google Developer Program. If you don't have that, you are limited to just 3 workspaces for the Firebase Studio. How do you get started with Firebase Studio? You can either import a repo you have already, or you can type what you want Firebase to do. There are also some sample prompts here where let me say, okay, I'm feeling lucky. It should generate something for me. Then a simple calculator for basic arithmetic. Key features include entering numbers, performing operations, etc. From this, I can improve the prompt. Okay, everything looks great. Everything looks great. Use a clean gray and green color scheme, etc. Then I can prototype the application. Let's say I say prototype with AI. It will then go analyze all my requirements and come up with a suggestion like a blueprint of this is how it's going to do. There will be number inputs. There will be these are the operations it's going to perform. These are the color scheme. This is what is the stack it's going to use, and so on. And I can still make more suggestions. Okay, change this, do this, and so on. And once I'm done, I click on prototype, and it will design the interface and start. You can start iterative design the interface first, show you what it looks like before you can start iteratively making changes along with the AI assistant. Now, but I don't need to go into this. I will add a video in the description that will show you an example of how you can quickly create an application. I see it already suggested a name for us, Calcify, which is nice. So going back to my productivity application. Now, let me show you the prompts that I use. Let me go back to my project here. Let me switch to the code editor. And this was my prompt. And I can be very elaborate when it comes to prompting. Like, okay, let's build a personal assistant with the following features. The stack, I would like the app to be built with Next.js, Flutter for Android, and let me see, let me close this. Yeah, Flutter for Android and the Firebase stack. The Android app should have a widget that I can put on my home screen. Though the Android app was not built, much later I would like a Mac app so it lets, my English is kind of off. Yeah, put it in consideration. So let's put it in consideration for design and architectural decisions. Now, now to the features of the application. On opening the application on the dashboard or my phone in the morning, I should have an idea of what my day looks like with options to move them around. Now, I want a journal. I want to add reminders that are not tasks. Tasks are different, events are different. Just reminders, just small text that I will just put to remind me of certain things. Maybe call mom or call my wife and so on. Now, shopping list. I want to maintain a shopping list that can be organized into folders. This is how I want task management to be. Tasks are organized in projects, which are also organized in focus areas. That's we have focus areas. Within focus areas, we have projects, and for performing projects, we have tasks. Then tasks should have to do, doing, done, and so on. Dates and times can be assigned to tasks. Some tasks can be multi-day, where parts of the tasks can be completed across multiple days. I don't remember what I was thinking when I typed this, but notes can be added to tasks for documentation. Priorities can be assigned to tasks. Then calendar, we should be able to integrate with different Google Calendar. I should be able to see overview of my calendar. I don't need to switch in calendar application. The new events can be scheduled from this app and it should go to one of my calendars. Then we should also have something like Calendly, an application where I create appointment types and people can book maybe mentoring sessions and other things to me. And I also said, if there are any nice improvements or ideas that will make me more productive, please add. I'm a procrastinator and want to use this app to be better. Let's call the app Phoenix Assistant. So this is how I described what I wanted, and it prototyped it, and after a lot of iterative changes and development and debugging and so on, I was able to have this. Let me switch to the prototype. In Firebase Studio, you can switch between code editor and the prototyper. Now, this is what my application looks like. Let's expand this in the, no, we can view it here. Let's not, this is what the application, this is what I ended up with at the end of the day. Now, we have the sidebar here, which has a dashboard. This is our dashboard. And you can see here, it's using AI to tell me my state of mind. For example, it's saying, you seem to be in a focused but potentially overloaded state, tackling several tasks with similar deadlines. Now, you've got a lot on your plate, but you are making steady progress. Remember to break down those medium priority tasks into smaller manageable steps to make them feel less daunting. So how is it doing this? It's using my tasks, my journal, and as you can see here, I can jot a quick thoughts or reflection or event and save them to the journal, and it saves them. So anytime it wants to tell me my current vibe, it takes all of this information, sends it to Gemini, and Gemini is able to tell, I'll show you the section of the code later. Gemini is able to tell, okay, am I procrastinating? Am I in a good state of mind? etc. Now, we have the concept of widgets on the dashboard here. And you see we have calendar. I want to be able to see a calendar because the idea is for me to have this application as my dashboard. It's always open on my desk. Okay, once I look at it, I'm able to have an idea of what my day is like. Then I added widgets, the idea of widgets on the dashboard, so that key things that I need in my day to day, I should be able to just see them on the dashboard. Now, I also asked, Firebase Studio was also, or Gemini, Firebase Studio Gemini, was we added collapse and expand sidebar, so I can arrange my widget on the dashboard here. Not just that, we can even customize the widget. Okay, which one should be above which, how many columns should be in case of larger screens, and so on, depending on preference, what other features should be displayed. If you don't want certain things to be displayed, you can set all of them and save preferences. I added a wall clock. Yeah, I work in remote teams. I want to know, okay, my current location, Amsterdam, Lagos, London, be able to see the time in different parts of the world from here. Key tasks. For my task management, I want to see key tasks that are currently important based on their priority. Here, I want to be able to see them, and I can click on the task to go to the task or add a new task, view all my tasks. Quick reminders, maybe something like call Ahmed. Ahmed is my son. Call Ahmed, it adds it here. I'm able to remember that, okay, I should do this or do that. That's reminder. Then today's schedule is here. It's all showing busy. I'll tell you the reason why. While before I started recording this video, I was thinking of there's a lot of personal things that are showing, maybe personal projects and also maybe my personal information. How can I reduce the need to do a lot of editing? So I said, I can ask, just before I started the call, I can ask Firebase Studio to add a new feature. And this is how I described it. I said, let's implement secure mode, which can be enabled in settings. In secure mode, emails are not displayed under profile information, calendar connections, and my English sometimes can be messy. Calendar events only show busy and not their actual titles. We introduce a red-green property for projects. Green for can be displayed in secure mode, and red means a project and its dependent task cannot be displayed in secure mode. So it went on to implement them. Like, yeah, you see, it's an excellent idea. In secure mode, we are adding a security level for projects, green or red. Also, in secure mode, it can be toggled in settings, and data will be masked, content will be filtered. Right? So after it did that, some things were not being masked. So I asked it again, like some tags are still showing in task management page and key task widgets in secure mode, even after their projects have been marked red. Now, so it went on to implement this, like, okay, I found 3 places where the filtering was missing. That's key tasks on the widget, which is this key tasks, the main task management page, and the state of mind widget, which was summarizing tasks for the AI. Now, in secure mode, tasks in projects that have been marked as red are not sent to Gemini. So it only green projects are sent to Gemini for its analysis. Now, we've seen the dashboard. Let's now see the calendar. We have my calendar. One thing I noticed with Firebase Studio, I know definitely the Firebase team will be working on it. Anytime you are in the prototyper here and you click on a link, it takes a while to load. Yeah, you see, for example, now it takes a while to load. You see, after I clicked it took a couple of seconds to load. Now, we implemented this feature. You see, normally, if I was not in secure mode, this would be my emails I'll be showing here. But now it's showing some numbers because secure mode is on. Now, and you see, we have a calendar and it's currently busy. Now here, if I click on it, it will open my calendar, the calendar for my account, and I can see the event. I try to push Firebase Studio to make this as realistic as possible, so that I want to reduce opening multiple apps. So we even added selection of dates, moving between dates, seeing the week, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you see, secure mode is working. Seeing the week overview and so on. Now, for tasks, yeah, this will also be slow. For task, we arranged it we have focus areas, and these are my focus areas, like SaaS products, personal, Yotobit is a project that I do, my consulting, and my community. And you can create a new focus area. You can create a new task. You select which project should it belong to. There are several projects here. Which priority should it have? Should it be to do, doing, done? What's the due date and what's the due time? A title and a description. Now, and you see we have you can see the list of tasks here, list of features. You see, all these red ones are past due dates because yeah, I said due date and I've not done them. Now and you can view it in list view or in Kanban style. And in Kanban style, you can move things. Let me see. You can move things and it will automatically update. We implemented drag and drop, and this is updated. You can also, there's a number of mistakes here. You can also filter here by, okay, what are the things it should show? To do, doing, done for status, or what priority should it show? Or how should it group things by priority or by status? For example, if you go to list here, you see it's currently grouped by status, to do, doing, done. I can switch it to for it to be grouped by priority, low, medium, and so on. Now we can also sort. Now let's say we go to a project. We go to a focus area, we open a focus area to see the projects in it. Remember I said we have focus areas. Under focus areas we have project, then from project we then have individual tasks. So you can create a new project, specify if it should be green or if it should be red. Now then, for example, I have this project, Firebase Studio and Gemini demo, the one I'm currently working on. So you can edit it, or you can view its task and other details of the project. So the hierarchy that way. And you can also see the progress of the project here, 9% complete, and also how many have been done between them. Let me collapse this so we can have better view. Now we also implemented compact mode. Compact mode is to make the things smaller. You see the details were reduced. Now, then we can see tasks. We can view the details of the task. For example, if I click on this task, yeah, this is just like before. We can add a new task for this project and so on. So I've clicked on this task. Okay, I was facing this issue before, and I later discovered that the redirect URL I was passing was wrong somehow. So I was able to fix it. So now with this done, I can mark it as done here. Now, we also added action items. Action items are individual things that you can add. You can move them. Let's say I say change redirect URL, for example, and I press enter, it adds it here. You see, you can move up, down, and you can delete. You can also mark it as done. So if you add this, it will show in the task that this number of things were done for the task. You see, review calendar integration is done, and we are now at 18%. So that is how tasks management is. Now for reminders, you see a list of all the reminders. You can archive a reminder and so on. So if you create a reminder and you cancel it, more like, okay, I'm done with this, you don't no longer need to remind me. It doesn't delete it, it moves it to reminder. Hey, come up. Yeah, basically, see, for example, call Ahmad, I can delete it or I can archive it. I can also add some other ones. I can also see some of the things that have been archived before. You see, call this, call, and so on and so forth. So once I do archive, it's archived. Now, and everything is in archive, and I can add new reminders. Now, for shopping list, we have folders that can be created for shopping lists. You can create, let's say, okay, I want a new list, and this is the list. Then we have individual items of the list. Oh, sorry, it was a folder. It's a list that it was later named to. I was recalling what I typed in the prompt. So we can have a new list, and the new list I can say gadgets shopping, for example. And I create the list, then I can add items, I can tick them off, etc. And I can archive a list if I no longer want to use the list. It's gone, and later I can show archive. Now, for journal, before journal, let me go to the other ones. For appointments, this is not fully functional, but just like Calendly, or should I say Google Appointments. This is how it's designed to work. So, which means you create an appointment type, you specify what's the name, what's the description, the duration, the display color, what calendar should it. It did not mask this. I would remove it later. So, what calendar should it add it to, and so on and so forth. Minimum booking, notice time, booking horizon, etc. Then once it's done, you can see the bookings and you can copy the booking link. So this is still a work in progress. I think this is one of the last features that I implemented. Now, also, one other thing that I needed was wall clock. Remember, there's a wall clock that was showing in on the dashboard. Now, every time if you work in a remote team, you know it can really be hectic managing time. Talking, okay, like, hey, this colleague is in New York, the other one, and so on and so forth. So I decided I need to add this so I can be able to manage time. Now, let's say, for example, and it works in two ways. You see, for now, it's showing me lifetime at these locations. And if I want more locations, I can add more locations to add display time zone. I can select more locations. These are added costume in the code. I can add more. Not a lot of them are showing, but I can add more later. Let's say I have to queue already. Let's say I want to add Nairobi, for example, and I add Nairobi here. Now you see, Nairobi is now showing 10:30 p.m. Now, if let's say, for example, it's currently showing live clocks. Let's say I want to schedule a meeting for July 16 at uh, 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., and the source time it should use is my time zone, Amsterdam. You see, all of them are frozen to show me, okay, on that date, this is the time in all these different locations that you have. Okay, and once I'm done, I can ask it to go back to showing me our current live clocks. So this is how the wall clock works. This is quite useful for me in particular. Now, then the journal feature is basically for me to like, okay, let me jot down the my thoughts, my basically as things are going, so that I will be able to revisit them later, and for Gemini to use it in computing what it thinks, what's my state of mind, and so on, and basically give like a summary of what's going on. Yeah, this, if you definitely, I will share what I think I should share, not necessarily two private things, or I don't add PII information, that's personally identified information, in what it analyzes. It basically analyzes it. So for each day, I can add multiple entries per day. And let's see, for example, this today is June 29. I've not added anything. And okay, let's say I want to add a new journal entry, like it's a sunny day here in Rotterdam, and I am feeling great, though I have a lot of work to do. I also use the weekend, since today is Sunday, to do some chores I have always wanted to do. So once I do this, it saves, and you see it's generating, it has added my entry down here, and it has generating and aggregated insights for the day. Now, and you see, you're saying you seem to be feeling positive and energized at the start of the day, likely boosted by the sunny weather. However, there's also a subtle sense of being overwhelmed by the amount of work you have. You were proactive in using the day to catch up on chores. Overall, you seemed motivated but possibly a bit burdened by responsibilities. You mentioned having a lot of work to do, but spend the day catching up on chores. While it's great to be productive around the house, consider whether you might be putting off more demanding tasks. I see. Since you spent your Sunday with chores, start your next day by tackling one of the most important work tasks first. This can help you feel more accomplished and reduce any lingering stress about your workload. Consider making a list and prioritizing the tasks on urgency and importance. Now, it's because I am in secure mode. That is why it's not mentioning a number of tasks that I have, because I've marked them as red. But ordinarily, it will have gone and picked some of the tasks and like, hey, you are not doing this. Now let's go to our dashboard, and you'll see that based on this information, the your vibes widget will also have updated a bit to show that okay, this is what your current state of mind is. Open dashboard. This can be slow sometimes. Yeah, it's analyzing. You see, you seem to be feeling positive and productive, especially with the beautiful weather in Rotterdam. It looks like you have a busy week ahead, but you are well prepared. You're off. Quick tip: you have to a great start. Keep breaking down those tasks into smaller steps to make them even more manageable. Or like yeah, an inspiration or like a boost, like that a coach is supposed to do for you. Now, that is the overview of what the application looks like and what it's about. Let's switch to the code to see the code I created. First, I'm not an XJS developer. Everything that was generated here was generated uh, by the Firebase Studio. Yeah, you see dot cursor here. There was a time I was facing some serious bug and I was not close to my system. Since this is connected to GitHub and the code is put to GitHub, so I edited it on a different system to debug and do some fixes. Now, that is why you are seeing dot cursor at the top there. But 99.99% of the building was done within Firebase Studio. Now, you'll see the application, most of the application is in source here, and it created all the different components that the application needed. Now, for the most importantly that I will show are the AI integration. When I was creating it, because right from the beginning of the prompt, I also already mentioned that Gemini would be used. So it asked me if I wanted to generate my Gemini API key, and I said yes right from the interface. So it generated it, and I added it to the .env file that I'm using. So I'm using a .env file here. This is still personal projects. There are better ways to manage your credentials. Don't put your credentials, critical credentials, anywhere. Now, I'm not going to open it. So, so now in the Gen kit here, we're using Gemini 2.0 Flash. Then also where it's specified the different flows that Gemini will use. Now, let's look at the flows. For example, like the daily journal analysis, this is what is happening here. It's going to it's going to get the date of the that I did the journal entry. It's going to specify my state of mind. You see, the state of mind is a brief analysis of the user's overall state of mind for the day based on their entries phrased directly to the user. You seem to be, e.g., identified procrastination tendency on the day's journal entries and task reflections phrased directly to the user. You might be procrastinated on, and also actionable suggestions for prioritizing tasks based on the day's reflections, etc. Then down here, this is what the prompt looks like. You are a friendly and insightful AI companion, helping the user understand their day. You will be giving all the journal entries for date this, analyze these entries and provide insight. And these are the things that we want. And once it does, it provides us the information. For the dashboard, similarly, you're a friendly and insightful AI companion based on the user's recent activity below. Provide a brief analysis of their likely current state of mind and a short motivational tip. See, this is the flow here. Then journal task linking. It uses this to anytime it wants to analyze the journal to like, okay, let me, based on the things that I have mentioned, it will look at the tasks to see which ones relate to the things I have mentioned in my journal entry. Then procrastination insights here is basically you're an AI assistant designed to help user analyze their journal entries and task data to identify procrastination tendencies and provide actionable reprioritization suggestions. Address the user by you or your, and so on. So this everything here, I didn't type any of this. Firebase Studio did all of it for me. So that is the you can link your application to GitHub or any other. I think GitHub is the one that is currently supported. Firebase Studio, or anytime you are prompting, Firebase Studio commits your changes and others, but it's always I decided to add GitHub to it so that I can be able to pull it to my system and use some make some changes directly from my system to it. I think for now it only supports GitHub. Okay, I added something to the README earlier. Added initial prompts. Let me commit. So I'm committing to me. Yes. Now, the last thing we are going to do in this video, I know this video is long and we're going to break it into chapters, is so that we can see the power of the Firebase Studio, the AI feature. Now we go to, let's go to the tasks and see one of the tasks that is pending for, because I'm using this project, I'm dogfooding it to build it. So we see one of the feature that is planned to be implemented, and that feature is milestones. For project, I want to add milestones, and that the feature is milestones. For projects, I want to add milestones. Basically, we should have milestones which can span across different projects. Let me see, I think I have it here, which can span across different projects and have a timeline, like from this period to this period, this should be all these tasks from this project, from this different project should be done. I can easily see things across different projects. So this is the feature, introduce milestones. It's marked for June 15. I left it and was on the road for most of the past week. Now let's prompt AI here and say, let's introduce a milestone feature in task management. A milestone spans across projects and tasks from tasks can be added by updating the tasks by updating a tasks. Why is my typing off today? Tasks property. A milestone should have start and end date, and a milestone should have start and end date. The milestones page, let's say milestones page should support lists and Kanban views, just like we have for the other task list pages. An additional view we will introduce for only milestones is Gantt Gantt chart, which will place tasks in compact form based on their start and due date. Okay, now I'll prompt you to do this, and I always like to copy before it starts. Let me update this, and milestone, let me update this also, and send it to go. Yeah, definitely it has all the context of my project, and it should be able to proceed with the rest of the implementation. I'll fast forward the video to the end of the implementation so we don't waste too much time. Okay, we are back. That took like 7 minutes to complete. It's a lot that I asked it to do. So basically, it's responses. Introducing milestones is a great way to track progress on larger goals that span multiple projects. I will implement this feature complete with list, Kanban, and new Gantt chart views. This will be a significant update involving changes to your data structure, backend functions, and several new UI components. Here is the comprehensive plan. It just went and did it. So, if we look at the interface here, it has added a milestones menu to our to the sidebar. Let's see what it looks like. Again, Google Firebase team, if you're looking at this, this is slow when you are clicking on things in the prototyper here. So let's see, click again. So it opens up. I know clicking multiple times doesn't necessarily speed it up, but yep, it don't hurt to click again. So let me shift this to the left and come on, open. Oh, it's not working. Did it work? But while you are doing it, let me mark this as doing. Are we having milestones? Boom, boom, boom. Let's wait for it. Maybe it's taking its time. Let's wait for it. Dum, 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 dum. Yep, it's loading, and we have an error. Okay, let's fix it. It's already showing here. We have this error. Oh, it showed here earlier. Not sure why it disappeared again, but I can always copy this. Okay, the new milestones dialog. I don't know Next.js, so let me just ask it to fix it. This is one of the things again. I don't like it's busy reconnecting. Okay, it lost connection at some point. So let me refresh. Yeah, fix error. Error detected. It detected it by the interface. Fix error. So let's give it some time again to fix the error and we'll proceed. Okay, after the first debugging, debugged again after another error. So let's try to access the milestones page to see. I think the first time there was a read length issue, and the second time also the milestones page was not showing. So we have our milestones. Let's see. Let's say we have V1 Phoenix, the name of this project, Phoenix Focus launch. So it will start today and end on the 5th of July. Let's add this, and oh, another error. Okay, the error has been fixed. That's the thing with definitely building with AI. It's not perfect, so you'll be having issues. So now let's see the milestone that was created, and you see we can be able to view task and the Gantt chart. Hopefully the Gantt chart works. If it doesn't work, this is the first time we're implementing it. So based on my previous changes that I've made, introducing new type of layouts of projects and tasks, can be buggy, or sometimes it will just implement it halfway. And it's when you review what it has done, that is when you're like, okay, this is missing, that is missing. Then iteratively, we make more updates to it. But hopefully, it was able to get this done to an extent. It couldn't fetch the data. Oh, index needs to be created. This I need to do by going into Firebase, because we are using Firebase. I'll go into the Firebase console. I'll need to block all of these from displaying later. Then I'll log in, and then in the project that has been created for, I followed the link that was specified. You can create it with this so that it directly just adds all the feeds and everything for me, and I don't have to do it myself. So once I say save, it will take some time to build. You allow it to build. I'll skip this video to when it's built, because we can't do anything for viewing our milestone if this is not done. So I'll skip the video to when the index is completely built. Okay, the index has been completed, has been built. So let's go back to our studio and refresh so we can see what the milestone looks like. Let me collapse this. Now we have our milestone list view, Kanban, and Gantt chart. No tasks to display. So what we will do now is we'll go to tasks. I hope it doesn't take too long to show up. We'll go to task, because we asked it that we'll be asking, I will be adding the tasks from for it to be a milestone from the tasks. Maybe an enhancement later could be that we can add tasks from here to just bring where we can select the tasks to add and add them here. So let's go into, I just hope this doesn't start failing again. And let's go to view tasks here. It failed. Let's fix it and come back. Awesome, we fixed the error. Okay, it was the use toast is not defined error, and it was able to find the fix and it fixed it. So let's pick this introduce milestone, for example, and we add it to the milestone and see if that works. Okay, maybe another feature that we can add might be multi-select. I think we can do that from the milestone page. So we have like add tasks to milestone, and it will bring maybe like a pop-up with all the tasks from different projects, maybe arranged in a like an accordion, and we can easily select which milestone it should belong to. It says no milestone. How do we set our milestone then? Maybe if we edit it. Yes. Then we can easily set V1 focus launch. Let's save. Hope everything works. Yeah, awesome. Yep, it works. And we can go to the milestone. We don't also have a start date, so we need to update our start date. When did we start? Let's say this is now due July 3rd, and we started it in today. So let's save, and let's go to our milestone. Hopefully this adds the tags to it, and we can test the Gantt charts. I know list view and the Kanban view works fine based on the previous implementations we've done, but the Gantt chart might be different. You see, we have the list view here, it shows up. We have the Kanban. Let's see the Gantt chart. Yeah, to an extent, this is good. At least we can see it. So more improvement might be clicking on it and so on. So basically, we've added a new feature. I can work on improving on the feature subsequently. But once you are done with all of this, how do you share it with the world? How do you push it online? Because definitely you can share this with, I don't think there's a button for share here. But the best way to do that is to publish your application. I already have it published on using Firebase hosting feature. So if you are publishing for the first time, it will ask you which project you want to use, select billing, and a couple of other things. But for me, I've already published the application, so I'll simply, all the changes we've done, I want to publish it now. So this will take some time to go through the process of publishing. Now, the thing with publishing again is it's publishing using Google Cloud Run, GCP Cloud Run. And that is basically containers. It's packaging your application into a container and running it on Cloud Run through Firebase hosting. If I click on this now to see the details, you will see that it's doing a deployment. We have a backend, Firebase backend, and it's doing a deployment. So I can see the logs of the deployment in Cloud Build. If I go here, it's going to open Cloud Build for me, and I can see the log of how the deployment is happening. It's pulling containers and doing a number of things. Now, when the publishing fails and there's an error, it is still this process you go to see and say, okay, why did it fail? And you can see the error and fix the error. Now, I think I would stop the video here. Even if this fails, I can be able to investigate later. But a few things that it's important to take note is, like, just like we've seen, one of the things that made this video to be long is some of the things we were trying to do were failing. AI makes mistake, Gemini makes mistake, like how it's stated here. Please double check. It becomes tricky when you are using a language you are not familiar with. For example, I am not familiar with React Next.js. So it's not something that you can just say, okay, let me switch to code editor and go look at it and change it. Yeah, you might have, I can read JavaScript, I can do a number of things and make certain changes. But when it gets more abstract, I might not be able to do anything. I remember in the beginning when I was doing the project, there was an error that Firebase Studio kept repeating the same things over and it couldn't fix. So when I did a Google search, I now identified that it's a version mismatch. It was fixed in a new version of Next.js. So what I did was to copy the GitHub issue description and the suggestion that I was given, give it to Firebase Studio, and it fixed the issue. So you can guide it to do things that it needs to do. Now, when you are building your application with Firebase Studio, there's possibility that it works. You fall into this issue of, hey, it works on my machine. With Firebase Studio also, where in the prototyper here, like this milestone, oh, we tried it, everything seems to work. Then when you are publishing, you get failure. It might be that the build process is doing some extra check and some extra things, and the publication will fail. Now, it's only when you go here that you are able to see why it failed. Then what I do most times is I come and check the build logs, then see where the failure has happened. I think we have a failure. Okay, it's still building. Then I'll copy the log lines of where things are failed and put it in the prototyper here so it can fix it. So you can even do that several times. Let me show you in my build history. You will see that there are a number of times that I just kept giving it back the error to fix, giving it back the error to fix. You see, in the beginning, there were lots of them. Okay, fix it, go back, fix it, until we have a build. Aha, we have an error now. So I can come here and say, okay, we have an error. So what I'll do mostly is just come here and copy the error. Then once I copy, I go to the prototyper and paste. Here you see it. You can go through all those steps to get to it. Then paste and fix it. So that's the thing. It works here. It didn't show us any error aside from the ones that were fixed. But now in the build process, there's an error. You have to fix that. A feature request to the Firebase team would be, okay, as soon as we have a fail to publish here, the way it's detecting the Next.js or JavaScript error within the prototyper and is bringing the option to fix, it shouldn't just tell me that it failed. It should have access to the cloud build logs, pull the logs, and then be able to bring up a button. Oh, we noticed your publication failed. This is what we see in the logs. Should we fix it? Then you click on fix, and it should be able to fix the application for you. Now, but once your publication passes, you get a URL that will be generated for you, and you can easily visit the URL to see what your application looks like. I think for mine, you can come here and it will bring you to this nice page where you can either log in with username and password or log in with Google Sign In. For the Firebase Studio, I used Firebase Studio and Firebase authentication feature to implement both username and password and Google Sign In. I didn't add register or sign up. I can only invite you for you to be able to use the application. So that is how I was able to create the productivity app. I tried to cover as much as possible and also show you how you can do them and make changes. Like I said, this is the first video in this channel. If you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button and you can add any comments that you have in the comment section. Thank you very much.